Hey, Shalom Akim. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. All right. Teaching me this truth. All right. This is Naaman. And this video goes into the hypocrisy, as we all know. That's what the nation of Edom, the so-called white people, is all about, hypocrisy. Here you have Trump supporters protesting, the stay-at-home order and all that with this COVID-19 supposed epidemic. All right. Everybody's real restless. And like I said, it's not even warm out here yet on a consistent basis. All right. Wait till that happens when we're in that season and people are left. Who knows? They may have blackouts or whatever have you. I wouldn't put it past this devil. All right. This is a recipe for major riots, aside from the fact with the racism. All right. But in this video, we're going to show contrast between the Trump supporters and how they protest, and how the Kaepernick with taking the knee to protest police brutality, against Jake. So here we go.
Mexican, this Latino is a race traitor. Oh, word, he's a race traitor.
From Huntington Beach, California, and Dover, Delaware, to Lansing, Michigan, and Chicago, Illinois. The reopened anti-vaxxer crowd that rumbled through the United States this past week continues to display the sheer hypocrisy of who is allowed to protest, what they are allowed to protest about, and the double standards of reactions. Let's explain.
These protests turned violent last night, and I just wish there was some sort of respectful, silent civil protest that people could engage in that wouldn't enrage the other side. Yeah, nope, that's not going to work either.
Colin Kaepernick's silent non-protest was ridiculed.
And when you get on your knee, that's not being treated with respect.
To stand proudly for the national anthem. Well, you shouldn't be playing, you shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country.
Black football players who seek equality are un-American and should be labeled as such. But Charlottesville, for instance.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Nazis are labeled fine people for the murder of Heather Heyer.
The white nationalists are they're pushing up against the cops. This would never happen. Dude, Black Lives Matter protesters would be arrested immediately. They would be arrested. Please, send this video out, capture this.
And get away with this. And this. In Sacramento, California, the same place Stephon Clark was murdered by police for holding a cell phone in his grandma's backyard. These are very good people, the president wrote from his Twitter account of protests in Michigan and across America. The anti-science protesters who are determined to continue not flatten the spread.
And this is the thing. And he's absolutely right. At what point do you realize this was never meant for you, for us? All right. But then Jake just, well, let's get the scripture. Just has that mentality that, oh man, this is Jeremiah 2. These people, this is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? These people go out of their way to prove their hatred towards us and for us. And yet, how else can you explain Jake's response? This is why in Genesis, I'm going to read this again. This is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Question. Is he a homeborn slave? Question. Why is he spoiled? Question. All right. Jake has gotten comfortable over here. Jake does not realize no matter how much money that he makes. Think of it like this. I'll make the comparison or the analogy of the prison system. Since we are in an open air prison, you have, of course, the warden. All right. And we are wards of the government. And you have a trustee system. You have, well, let's go there real quick. You have inmates that good behavior. They get to do, you know, get a little relief and have even some control or rank, if you will. Let's see, trustee. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go here. The trustee system, all right, sometimes homophonically but incorrectly called trustee, all right, was a strict system of discipline and security in prisons in parts of the United States that was made compulsory under Mississippi state law, all right, all right, but was used in other states as well, such as Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, New York, and Texas. The method of controlling and working inmates at Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman Prison was designed in 1901 to replace convict leasing. All right. The trustee system had designated inmates used by staff to control and administer physical punishment to other inmates according to a strict prison-determined inmate hierarchy of power. All right, and it breaks down, goes into a case. My point for bringing this out is that's Jake. In this system, you're given privileges. Some of us, through whatever they do to attain their status in the, you know, entertainment industry. However they got there, but the point is that's a privilege and they can be taken away at any time, just as the trustee, you know, behind the wall, so to speak. But there is a link here. Jake, in this society, it's just whenever they want to bring you down, they can. You have privileges, you don't have rights. And yet, Jake wants to stay here. All right? He will be a slave forever if left up to him. That's why a lot of our people got to go. Now, kudos to Kaepernick. He exposed him. You know, he did it in his way. All right? But we're always out here saying, never trust your enemy. He's never going to like us. You know, this man is a base man. He's a base individual. He's carnal. He's animalistic. All right? He's just wicked to the core. Continuing on.
Of coronavirus have the approval of the President of the United States, who anoints so-called patriots like this guy at one protest, or symbolism that my two grandfathers bravely fought against in World War II in taking down and defeating Nazi Germany. Still, this was seen in Illinois. These people are called patriots by the president. I cannot repeat this enough. Let's take a look at Ferguson. Now, imagine just for a moment the protesters had, I don't know, this on them. Guns, ammunition, bulletproof vests, the whole 9 yards. Let's Check in on Louisiana.
9 guns were seized as personal property during the arrests. More than 100 protesters were arrested, most for defying orders to clear the street.
Arrests, confiscation, yet at Trump supporter protests, no arrests were made, no weaponry was confiscated. Even non-violence from police and politicians in New York show the disparity and inequality. In the white neighborhood of the West Village, parks remained open and countless citizens took in the sun to exercise or walk freely. However, the same cannot be said, for instance, in Harlem. The park was chain lock closed. One neighborhood enforces social distancing, the other doesn't. As Mark Lamont Hill put it, Donald Trump called CAP an SOB, but anti-stay-at-home protesters are praised. If 6 weeks of staying home justifies their anger, how angry should we feel about centuries of Black death? Let's be frank, the double standard is alive and well. As a white person in this country, I benefited from privileges those who do not look like me simply didn't inherit, like living, not being harassed when I step outside. Colin Kaepernick, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Black Lives Matter, all criticized for demanding equality when those opposed pray the injustices and inequalities continue. Lastly, let's end with this. If you expect elementary school children to endure the trauma of active shooter drills for your freedoms, you can wear a mask to Costco. Stay safe, everyone. If you'd like to hear more thought-provoking content like TYT Sports...
There you go. Let's end it here for time's sake. Let's see. 'Cause this is what we're dealing with here. All right. This is Job 20. And 5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. You know, this man is going down. All right, he knows it. The problem is a lot of Jake still hadn't caught on yet, which is sad. Job 27:8, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, when the Most High taketh away his soul? So you acquired all this through rape, robbery, murder, and deceit. What is it going to profit you in the end? What? Job 34:30. That the hypocrite, nation of Edom, so-called white people, reign not, lest the people be ensnared. That's all his judiciary system and this system period is all just snares and net, especially for our people. Jake, all right? Proverbs 11:9. An hypocrite with his mouth destroyed his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. And that's what we're offering. That's what we're out there on the highways and byways. All right? From Alba Vivens on down. The current apostles, elder apostle Tahar on down. That's what we've been out there. They've been out there for decades. All right? Spreading this truth. Now you're starting to see these prophecies come to fruition. And a lot of you or scared. All right. So with that, I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, time is short. This is Trump supporters violently protest versus Kaepernick's peaceful protest. All right, showing the hypocrisy of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, that's why we need to get the hell up out of here. So with that, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Double honors once again to the Apostles' Great Millstone who told me this truth. All right. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth, all honesty and sincerity while trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully elect. So with that, Shalom. Abba.